Dr. Brian Tracy.
How are you?
What a privilege, sir.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you, sir. In conversation with Brian Tracy, you know, he's one of those rare people who have, you know, his body of work extends to so many different subjects. And if it is sales, leadership, history, I don't know, it's an endless list. And it's an absolute privilege, sir, to be with you. The first question that I have is, there's not a single business school in the world that guarantees that even 5% of their successful students will succeed in business.
Right.
Whereas if anybody takes, you know, let's say the sales system that you have painstakingly created and put together, and they start really applying everything that they do, it starts creating results. So
Yes.
It seems to me that there is hope on one side, uncertainty on the other side. And if there's anything that, you know, you could comment so that it starts creating some thoughts in people's minds.
Well, sometimes I would talk about the best-selling exercise equipment in the world for homes is called the treadmill. You get on the treadmill and you walk. And so I would say, what guarantees the results you get from the treadmill? And people would say, well, the amount of time you use it. I say, yes, it's a combination of how often you use it and how long each time. But there's no question that the treadmill works. Well, it's the same thing with these principles. These principles that we teach in business work. The only question is, how often do you use them and how long do you use them? So the only guarantee of teaching, learning books is the individual themselves, by taking what they've learned and applying it over and over again until they get results. Unfortunately, the great majority, 80% or more, give up before they get results. The reason that a company fails is because the company founders either do not have good skills or information or experience, or they give up and they don't get the skills. 80% of companies started by people without experience or skills fail in the first 2 to 4 years, just a statistic. 90% of companies started by people with experience and skills succeed eventually. So learning, as you teach, is the most important thing of all. Now, I've been working for more than 1,000 large businesses, more than 10,000 small businesses, and the results are in. Why do businesses succeed? Because they have high sales. Why do businesses fail? Because they have low sales. And so if I could give one piece of advice to a business owner, is get out of the office and go and talk to customers. Business owners spends 90% of their time in the office, on their internet and talking to other people. Get out of your office. Peter Drucker once said there are no results in the office. There's no results inside the business. All the results are out there in the marketplace. It's just like soldiers cannot win medals back at their barracks. You can only win medals in the front line during the battle. And the battle is in businesses when you go out and you make sales.
Amazing. And then the other statistic that's always haunted me, when you hinted on that, is that why do 95% of small and medium enterprises fail in the first 5 years? They fail to produce the results that the owners want. They're either hovering around break even, and some of them just go bust.
It's because they don't make enough sales. They always have an excuse or a reason not to call on customers. Mostly it's fear of rejection, fear of failure, and the worst of all is lack of sales skills. It's the most amazing thing is people will start a business without sales skills. I met a man last year in Poland, and I said to him, I will call you on your cell phone. Oh, he said, I don't use one of those. Now, I met him about 15 years ago, and he said, no, I don't use a smartphone. He said, I never learned how to use one. So I said, what do you do? He said, well, I go to telephone booth or I use a telephone. I said, are you out of your mind? He said, you cannot live in the modern world without cell phone technology so that you can communicate with people and send messages. He said, well, he comes from a smaller town and he just never thought about a telephone. So the next time I spoke to him, he's now using a telephone. It's the same thing with sales skills. As people say, I say, oh, so are you really excellent at selling? Well, no, I'm not. But is that important? Yes. It's the oxygen to the brain. It's the blood to the heart. If you don't have sales skills, then your company will die. There's no guarantee your company will live with sales skills, but it's 100% guaranteed your company will die without sales skills.